have over Kalista.
That's
for
fair.
me, this is a really difficult game for Perkz to play unless he gets snowballed super far ahead. Again, G2 are on a timer, and we've seen them be very successful with these style of compositions, but they need to hit hard, they need to hit fast, and they need to unlock caps if they want to be successful. This is like a super obnoxious comp for Mad.
Well, now it is time. The first game in our series versus G2 and Mad Lions. The winner will secure a spot at World.
Investment, then that gets delayed and things go wrong. But I feel like Shadow is so good at getting those early resources, getting that farm, getting that priority, that he sets himself up for success as you enter the mid game.
My thing is that he's playing with an Azir who usually needs a lot of farm. Humanoid should be able to sidestep that. They're forcing
Forward,
flash.
extra movement speed.
Oh, gotta watch the chains.
Have to walk away. One more auto. Caps is going to finish that off. First blood going over to Jankos. Very classic level 2 Sett gank coming in.
And excuse me, no chains that are available. I believe it's just distortion in the queue there from Caps, but he does make it count, as now they can punish this flash. And you have to gank Azir early before he gets his ability. Like level 5, he can just perma-push, and then he's basically safe from lane forever. So G2 needed to make that one count to set up more kill pressure here, which Caps immediately starts aggressively trading on.
This is also just very classic G2. I think that when you look at this roster and how they found so much success in the past, it was Jankos
On the bottom side, paired with Shadow, it is a very strong ability, but if he falls too far behind, the Gangplank will outvalue, as we now see a bit of aggressive trading in the bottom lane.
But it's one of the nice things about Taric, especially into Nautilus. Like Recon, like Nautilus, when they just kind of go in a straight line at you, Taric can counter them in lane because it's very easy to set up the stun like there, which is exactly how Kaiser traded on Mykix, and always something to watch for and practice in your solo queue games.
Of course, now Dragon is going to fall down. G2 just continue to get these small advantages in the early game. It's only 6 minutes in, and that's almost 1.5K in their favor. Humanoid, sadly, now out of mana. No blue buff in the area for him to grab.
75 mark. And by keeping it at 25, basically allows, look at Jankos and Perkz right now. They're basically saying, if you come anywhere near my line, you are going to die.
Oh no, they brought Mykix too!
The Humanoid dies meme was last split. You can't bring it back this split. It's outdated. Oh, it's not outdated. Oh no, Humanoid. Not like this. Perkz now on the chase down, flashing through, waiting to pull the spears out. One more. Boom. Gets him on the fade away. That's just brutal.
So the plan, I thought, was that Caps would roam. Turns out, the rest of G2 is roaming to mid.
Freeze and ruining Humanoid's life.
Really good wave management coming out from Caps, but now Madla answer back. They brought 4 in mid.
It's going to be tough for them to follow up any further, though, but I like that there's a bit of aggression coming out. Very difficult early game for Mad so far. 2K now in the favor of G2, and they're ready for a brawl here in the mid lane. Shen pushed under the tower. Wunder can move first. Mad Lions, what is the play here? Everyone has abandoned the bottom lane. Herald seems to be the focus. The Hex Flash over the wall. They will catch out Kaiser. Now the GP ult is coming in. Kaiser trying to find the disengage. Is going to get pulled back, though. Orome now in the midst of the fight has locked up a Perkz. Perkz pulling back, though, with the ultimate. Now going to throw back in and lock Humanoid out. In the meantime, G2 getting a kill. Mad Lions walking away empty-handed. Another hook comes out just in time to take down Orome, and G2 are demolishing Mad.
That is absolute disaster. Look at that gold lead at only 9 minutes in the game on a composition that needed, like, if it got ahead, it was going to be so strong on 1 and 2 item breakpoints. Like, this is exactly where G2 want to be, and there's no reason for Mad Lions to try to
wave so that he's not permanently getting frozen on. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. But then they're kind of setting up for the Rift Herald, and they're saying, okay, maybe we can sneak this one away before G2 can respond. But they don't have the items to force this fight. They're behind in gold. They're behind in experience. And by being in that position, they just gave G2 the opportunity to force it. And G2 just has the stronger comp at this point in the game. So G2, of course, they're going to take that fight every time.
Tested. Good timing. Of course, he does start it right as all of Mad Lions are recalling and just returning to the map, so we will get prio there. All of G2 set up on the bottom side as well. Normally, we'd get to talk about, hey, Mad Lions at base more recently. Maybe they have a bit more in their pockets in terms of items, but sadly, they're just so far behind. There's not a lot of options, and Kaiser gonna have to run for the hills, waiting for now on the ultimate, is gonna get pulled back here. Aftershock still proc. Doesn't look like he wants to use it at this stage. Pullback is there, and he will drop in the end. Another one going down for Mad.
A clean pick coming out from G2. They set up good vision around the bot side of the map, and Kaiser, he wasn't even overextended, the poor boy.
They knew they were there.
He was just trying to get a bit of vision in his own half of the jungle, but now, ultimate from Humanoid.
Scooped back. The E will not connect. Big ulti coming in. Caps with the sidestep, though, will walk away, and that has to hurt.
I mean, I'll compliment Caps on surviving that, but that was way too aggressive to try to walk that direction into the lane phase, and he was rightfully punished for it. There's the Herald that we were talking about earlier, and Hecarim is looking for a deep flank here, so perhaps they catch Perkz out. Here comes Shen.
Gonna get dunked back down now. The TP's coming in. Jankos is gonna be able to buy so much time. Orome now has to run for his life. They're instead gonna try to turn on Mickey. Mickey can spider knot his way out. He's waiting. The delayed route will connect there, and now another TP coming in on top of the GPL. But Mad Lions, they're here, but there's nothing for them to grab. That was a safety TP coming in from Humanoid.
They expended so much there. They used multiple teleports, multiple ultimates, and all they really got was Mickey's flash, I believe.
So I could understand the logic for Mad, you know, no flash, no if we don't do something, we won't get an opportunity to stall. So the logic could be, let's try. There's a brief window here. They didn't lose anything off the back of that play. Things are a little bit delayed, but things didn't work out in their favor. And now, as we can see, the gold is starting to mount more in the favor of G2. And they're just slowly working their way up towards mid and top side so they can secure more early out of towns.
I mean, 6K double dragons, and the fact that your top laner alone is 2K ahead of the competition is, it's not a done deal, but G2 keeps snowballing like this. Mad are not going to get a chance to stay out. They're not going to get a chance to play the composition the way they intended to. Orome just barely out of the range of the hook, has to wait on the Spirit's Refuge to block as much damage as he can, now trying to dash to safety, knowing that Jankos will spell his death. Orome now making it out, but Shadow, Taric now mounted to him, is going to go right in onto Wunder, trying to get some damage down, but they just don't have the stats. The Hecarim is so weak, he does no damage.
Also, really well turret aggro management there from G2. I think they fumbled the initial dive execution, but were able to fix it with the Kalista ult.
Re-engage the base breaker, now going to pull in. Jankos trying to fish for the ult, wants to throw someone back into the team, but won't find the opportunity, so instead G2 will just be happy to take the top lane tower, and the gold lead will continue to extend almost 7K now.
We see, I mean, this isn't a new strategy of playing for dragon stacking, taking a composition that does have
power after what was a lackluster regular season.
I will say that G2 are still just doing an exceptional job punishing Mad's mistakes. While this is a good performance from G2, I do think that Mad, especially in this best of 5, if they lose this game, if they're unable to turn around, this is something very easy where you walk backstage and you're like, why did you choose to fight here? Why did you get caught out here? It's very clear with this game got away from them.
So while I do agree with that, I think that this also started with really great play from Jankos in the mid lane. Like the heavy investment into Humanoid, trying to put him behind. I think that then put Mad in a situation where they were like, okay, I guess we kind of have to fight, and that's where I'm like, yeah, okay, you didn't need to force a lot of these fights, you didn't need to be over-aggressive, and that's why I really want to highlight Jankos, because, you know, we joked about him being old, this is his 100th, is that how you say, a 100th LEC playoff game?
Yes.
He's now got 100% kill participation. He was the one that set up this early game gold lead for G2, and he's had a bad split. He wasn't even in our top 3 All-Pro, right? But here he is coming up against Shadow, and I think he's having a commanding performance right now.
And while we do kind of tune back into what's happening on our screen, we expected a bit of a lull state between timers. This second Herald, very important still for G2. Because again, they're in their window of power. We expect them to be the team that has agency and tempo right now. And getting the second Herald is super important to crack mid lane tower, especially against an Azir. Like, Mad aren't dead yet, but they have fewer chances right now. And G2 are kind of approaching this moment where they're ready to pull the trigger. And if they execute on it, they can close this game before Mad get a chance to fight back.
Just slowly but surely systematically denying so much of the vision, now breaking the tier 1 as well, moving on to the tier 2, and the map just continues to get smaller and smaller for Mad Lions. Opportunities getting less and less, room to play getting less and less. Where's the Hecarim even going to farm? Where's Humanoid even going to go? Caps jumping into his base to hunt him down before a tier 2 even drops. That is a terrifying thing to deal with.
It's a great example of how to snowball.
Potential for G2 to also play around a pressure point of Baron. Not necessarily to secure it, although I think that they are a bit more reliant on it because they are against an Azir.
Can we go to the pit full screen just for a second here? Because Caps just, by the way, while we're talking, just in the little picture on the corner of your screen, just got a flash out from Orome. Never mind, we have to fight in 2 places at the same time. It is a G2 game, why not? Taric now coming in, suplex dunking down, but the damage is going to connect, however, not nearly enough. Haymaker coming in, Orome now in the midst of the entire team. Perkz throwing Mickey back to the front line, but not going to get a lot. Fighting in the funnel here, actually very good for this Azir, but he can't really get in a comfortable position to auto. Caps into the backside, doesn't have the damage to finish the job. The delayed snare, now the Hecarim moving in. Wunder has to run for the hill. Shadow wants to turn it, he gets Perkz. He looks to Wunder. This is so much gold for the Hecarim. Oh my god, 3 shutdowns for the Hecarim. This is nightmare status for G2. I didn't know how Mad we're going to find a way back in, but that is a damn good start.
And just as you said it, Drakos, the sheer amount of gold that Shadow just picked up there is massive. There's, oh God. Oh no.
You know,
difficult for G2's composition to get into that backline outside of LeBlanc and assassinate.
But now Caps continuing to dive forward. The teams are not done yet. They're ready to fight. Ocean Soul for G2. Would feel like game over even after everything that went so well for Mad in the previous fight. That said, G2 now painfully aware of what they have to throw away after the previous fight. Orome, no flash after Caps' play previously in the side lane. Shadow on the backside, ulting over the wall, but not immediately hitting someone. Perkz is just going to get dunked down, though. Clean coordination coming in from Mad Lions. Jankos trying to buy a bit more space for Wunder and Caps. What can they get done? Mickey in the midst of everything, but no, the GP and the LeBlanc just running down Mad Lions. Shadow wants to get something back. Jankos with the pullback, and it's 3 members still standing for G2. Are you kidding me?
And this was a fight that initially looked promising for Mad. After they one-shot Perkz, you think, okay, this could be it, but Caps and Wunder pick up the slack. Jankos just, he tanked everything in that fight, soaking up so much damage. Mad didn't have the damage to match, and now G2 will secure themselves an Ocean Soul.
I also think that it was Mad Lions approaching the fight wrong for the composition that they fed, though, because we keep talking about how Perkz is going to struggle to fight into this Azir and this Senna at this point, whereas a Gangplank ultimate and LeBlanc will just delete people.
And now Orome is running once again. They really want to punish this man for not having a flash for the second fight in a row. Redemption now coming in, though, trying to focus their damage onto Wunder. Big ult coming in from the Senna, going to do a good amount back, but now Wunder running for the hill. Shadow going to be in trouble. Shen coming back in with the ultimate. Shadow too little, too late on the Taric ultimate. The rest of the team now collapsing. Carzzy does not have a lot of damage, however. Humanoid trying to throw down as much as he can off to the side, but Caps too mobile. Remember, 19 stacks on the Magi. Potentially more on the back of that last play, but Perkz sticking around for too long. Currently outranged. Mickey in the midst of everything. Caps waiting for the double distortion in. Doesn't have the cooldown quite yet. Will get snared on the backside, but they're just chasing them down. Slowly but surely, G2 are pulling ahead in the fight. The Ocean Soul healing them so much across this exchange. Can't hit a target quite yet, but can't hit a hook. Caps jumping in. Kaiser certainly next on the list. Carzzy going to follow. There is nothing left to be done. G2 are dissecting Mad Lions.
I feel like this is the book versus the horse right now. That is 25 stacks on the Magi's. Caps is doing a ton of damage on this LeBlanc, playing out these fights in extended iterations really beautifully. Shadow, however, got another shutdown off of the Gangplank. So I think all 5 of his kills have all been shut down gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but he's still only level 12. Even Perkz is a higher level than him right now. They're going to secure that bot inhibitor, and as you rightly said, Frosk, I think that fight was just, they were at a numbers disadvantage in this fight.
And Kaiser tries to body block the hook, tries to put himself in a position to sacrifice his life for Carzzy, but it will not work. And now G2 are just hunting. Humanoid running for the hills. The GP, oh God, there's no escape. Jankos suplexes him over the wall, dunks him down, and this feels like it's going to be it for Mad Lions. Ocean Soul, there's just too much in the favor of G2. Maybe a miracle, but otherwise G2 off to a strong start here in the first game in the series.
And there's the example of why it was so important that Wunder was also getting fed on this Gangplank, because of the reach of his ultimate against the range potential of the Azir. That Humanoid really had nowhere to go, and now that means that G2 can blow up the backline pretty successfully between 25 stacks LeBlanc and very powerful Gangplank.
And, yeah, and they're 10k up. I mean, then they got Ocean Soul. They're just too strong, right? But the thing I want to talk about is that when we jumped into this series, Vedius, you brought up what the previous series looked like, the previous playoff series, where it was.
Mad came into this game with a clear plan. They knew the Kalista would be locked in. They had a dive comp in mind. Ooh, as we see an engage on the Wunder.
Hold back, does have the hourglass, buys himself a bit more time stopwatch. Rather, Wunder is now going to get one shot. They're fighting in a funnel once again. Perfect setup for Humanoid. He's going to do a good amount of damage back onto Jankos. Jankos will get shredded down, not nearly enough of a shield from the grit. Carzzy now on the chase, slowing him down slowly but surely, trying to finish this one off. Perkz with the pullback. Will they look for the re-engage? You can tell that they're debating, but the minions are already pushing into the base. The more time. Oh my God, the damage from Cap. 25 stack Magi's. He's just playing with his food, leaping in, leaping out. All too easy as Perkz just continues to run. Humanoid trying to slide and glide his way in, but the double kill now for Perkz. Looking for a triple, a perfect hook for Mickey, and they're just making a montage right on the corpses of Mad Lions. All too easy, and that's going to do it here in game 1. G2 reigns supreme. Unless the minions, no, they'll be there in time.
And the 3-man squad of Perkz, Mickey, and Caps once again showcasing great patience, great positioning to come out on top. A convincing game 1 from G2 Esports.
And the question we had is who was going to return to form, and G2 have certainly returned to form. This is final boss G2 in game 1 of the series.
Have to see if Mad Lions will be prepared in the games to follow. For now, G2 and Caps going legendary across this game. A dominant performance in game 1.
Now back to your question, Drakos, before all of the chaos took hold. Do Mad Lions try to contest in the early game? I don't think the composition was the problem. I actually think it was quite a cool composition.
Yep.
I think it was entirely execution, specifically on Humanoid. That's kind of where everything spiraled out of control, is him playing very greedy in the lane, getting punished, not having his flash, drawing resources from the rest of his team. So I wouldn't